Hello and welcome back. This is Dr. Dario Vasquez, and today we have a pleasure of having with us Cecilia. She will talk. She will be talking to you about things that you should do and should not do during, after, and during the interview. So thank you for coming, Cecilia.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you.
So the first thing is what to do during an interview. I'm gonna give you some do's and don'ts. What to do before, during the interview, and after the interview. We're gonna do our best. And also don'ts. What not to do during in the interviews. And the first thing is, before you go to an interview, after you got the appointment to go to the interview, you have to do some things. First, you have to do a research in the company that you got the appointment, that you got the interview with, because you need to know where if the company is going to be a good fit for you and your future job. You need to know where the building or the appointment is, and if you can do like a run before, like 1 day before, 2 days before, to go to know how long it will take you from the place that you do your house to the place to the interview, because you don't want to be late. That's the first thing. Don't be late to an interview. Never. It's not excusable, and if you are going late, you have to call the interview to cancel or reschedule the interview, because it doesn't look good that when you just arrive late to an interview. The other is, you have to see the dress code for the interview, for the company. And the best way to do it is to go a day before to the company, to the building, and to see how the other people dress up. So if you don't have time to do that, just always go like business formal. And don't go casual, because not many companies have that policy. You have to. That's why you do the research, because you need to know what type of company it is. It's a very open-minded, or it's all very strict, and that also reflects in the way that they dress up and the way that you need to dress up for the interview. So those are the things that you need to do before the interview. You have to research the interview. You have to see how long it will take you to go there, and the dress code. After you get there, be also 10 minutes before the interview. Never be late. Be before 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. No more than that, because it looks desperate.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes or 15 minutes is great. Before the interview, when you get to the building of the company, you have to, the first thing that you have to say is say hi to the front desk, or someone that is having all the interviews, and you have to present yourself to them. Always be friendly in the company, because it might be your future company, so you don't want to be non-friendly to the people that they already work there, because they can have an effect on after the interview, because you don't know which is the person that is gonna be your boss, your future boss, your future client, your future co-worker. So you always have, when you are before the interview and you get there, just be nice to everyone and try to know a little bit more about the company. Talk to the persons that are around until you wait for your interview. The other is, when you get to the interview, the first thing that you have to do is to present yourself. It's very formal. Here in the States, you have to present yourself, say your name, and say hello. When you get to in front of the interviewer, you have to say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. or Mrs." And you have to say the last name, not first name, because you just met the person. So you have to be very formal. The other is you have to have a very good handshake. Has to be a very good, not very strong, but not very lazy. It shows in the body language is very important during an interview. And the first thing that you have to do is say, "It's nice. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me." and you have to shake the hand of the person that is gonna interview. So all of these try to rehearse before the interview, the handshake, the way that you dress, the way that you speak, the way that you dress, that you stand or sit down. And when you sit down to the interview, you have to be very proper. Don't slouch. Don't be like, oh, this is my house. No, you're in an interview. You have to be you don't have to be like very tight, but uptight, but you have to be very like formal and business-like.
The hands is.
The hands is depends, because you can be, don't go like that. You can have your hands on the table. You can have your hands around. Never do this during an interview. It's a very bad body language, because it is obstruct of the communication. Don't be like that, because it's not a good position. Try to have your hands here. Never put your hands in your pockets. But yeah, like you are sitting, try to also reflect the way that the other person is sitting, speaking, doing the languages. When you're speaking about for example, they ask you a question, and you're very excited about the answer, because maybe it's a career or it's something that you did in your last job that it got you very excited, like a teamwork or a project that you were very good at it, and you're very excited about it. You have to show it. Not that you're gonna scream or anything, but you have to show the enthusiasm that you have for that project and that you have for your career. Because that's one of the things that you need to do in the interview. You need to show that you know what you're doing. You know if you don't know an answer, but you are very enthusiastic about the future job that you're gonna have, they are gonna take you because they like that energy. You have to project a good energy. And the other is some questions that you need to, some questions that they don't, or the U.S. government doesn't allow the interviewers to do, are very important. You need to know the laws here, and the laws sometimes protect the person that is being interviewed. And some of these you need to know, like, for example, no one in the U.S. can ask you about your race, your sex orientation, your age, your marital status, none of that. If someone asks you a question about that, you can politely say that I'm not comfortable with that question, or I want to discuss that. Please, can we continue?
Okay.
Because these questions are against the law. If they do that, they are doing something that it can be very troubling in human resources, because it's how you can say, forgot the word, it's a discrimination. It can be a discrimination against you, and it can be used against you after the interview. And you can, if you know that these are questions that are not allowed, you can say it. Like, I'm not gonna answer that question, please, we can continue. But very polite. And you need to know those. You need to know that some laws and some questions are not allowed in the US in the interviews. The other is like, when you go to the interview, they're gonna ask you questions about where are you gonna see yourself in 5 years. You need to know this. Some of these questions are they always do them. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why you want to work with us? Why you choose this company? And you need to rehearse those questions before. You need to know the answer. Not that you gonna rehearse it like it's a script. No, but it has to be natural. But you need to be prepared for those questions. And that's why you do the research. That's why you go first and do like why I like this company. Because this company has these benefits, or this company is gonna help me to grow in my career.
Prestige.
Mhm.
You need prestige.
Yeah, you can say anything like I've been dreaming about working for this company all my life, or my one of my family work here. So no, it's something that you need to rehearse. And also they are gonna ask you what did you do in your last job? Why did you don't? Sometimes they ask you very tricky questions, like what do you think about your last boss? See, and some people and it's a don't never say something negative about your last job because it gives a bad impression about you. If you say something bad about your last job or your last boss or your last co-worker, it's gonna be very bad for you with the interview because they don't like that bad energy. You can say like they have a very good relationship with your job, but that you are looking into. They can ask you why you want to change to this company if you're keep, because maybe this new company they will give you more projects that you are more interested in doing, or maybe you are doing a change in your career. Maybe you're changing completely from maybe engineering to hospitality or the other way. So that's the question that you need to never say, oh, because I didn't like my last boss. Never say that. It's a thought. Like I hate my boss. No. Or be prepared for those questions. They are tricky questions. All the interviews they do it is something general. If you go to the internet, you can find all these questions that they already have, and mostly the interviews go like that. They're gonna ask you why you like the company, why are you prospect, why are you good for that company. You have to sell yourself in that one. Why you think we should hire you? That's the question. And you should prepare to sell yourself because the resume is just the paper, but they want to know your experience, your real experience. Like you have a project with 6 people, and how the way that project went is, and if they went very well, that's the thing that you have to sell. Like if you create something new, if you work with communities, if you help your community to grow, all of those are the point sale that you need to tell them. So they need to, oh, we need this person in our team. That's the way that you're gonna go and take the job, because you have to sell yourself more than the resume. The resume is one page of your life, but you need to sell more in the interview. And the other is, let me see. Any questions right now? And I said,
So, these are principal questions, but are there other questions? Depending what do you know to do?
yeah. It depends on these are general questions, but in an interview that you go for a specific job, they are gonna give you some specific questions, especially in the careers that you have. Engineer, they are gonna ask you what certifications you have, what projects you have worked before, the machinery that you know which one you need to work, and they can give you even cases like, we have this case, what you have done, what you have done it, or which way you have done the job
Differently, yes.
differently.
Depending the area.
Exactly, it's depending on the area that you have. You need, if you're going for a job, it's because you are interested and you know everything about it. So if you don't know, then just keep asking questions. It depends on the project that they have. So it gives you a example of how they did it, and then you give your opinion on how you should have done it.
So are there how many filters are there in one interview?
How many fields?
Filter.
Process.
It
Well,
depends
yeah.
on the interview can have different process steps. Like the main, like it depends also on the company, because sometimes, and it also depends on the job. Sometimes it's just easy interview, just one-on-one with the HR people and you, or it can be with the HR and the supervisor that you're gonna have, because maybe it's a technical position and HR doesn't know about those technicalities, and that's the person that is gonna ask you the technical questions
Oh.
about the position.
Also sometimes realize exam medical exam.
That's after they offer you the job. They give you an offer. Some of them not medical, but they give you psychological exams, so they know that you will have the not the qualities, but the
Aptitude.
attitudes for that job, and they have those exams take like 2 hours or 3 hours, so they are very specific, and the results they can
Predict what you're gonna be
Yeah.
doing.
Because sometimes also exam
Physical exam.
physical exam.
But you
Uh,
have to
various
be
questions.
physical fit for some of the jobs that are required, but they are not allowed to discriminate against you if you have a disability, because it's a law against this
Which
disability
is
of
the
act.
Americans with Disabilities
Mhm.
Act of 1990, which
Yeah.
protects anyone with a potential disability or physical disability.
So
but
if you have a disability but you can prove that you can do the job, they are not allowed to discriminate against you.
now I got a question for you. You actually have a master's degree in human resources, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I know Aquino, I thought you said you have a question for her. Let's do the stand up. Get up,
So
Aquino. Get up. And let's say you're going to come in for a job interview, and Cecilia is the HR manager. So come in and greet her into the office. Good morning, good afternoon, and tell her what are you here for. Come on here. Yes, come here, say
Yeah.
hello. my
No,
name
this is
so-and-so."
good
Yes.
because it's a way to practice.
This is a role play.
so she's the
She's the HR manager, director, because she has a master's degree. She's the HR director, and she's going to interview you briefly. So you're gonna come in and say good morning or good afternoon. My name is Aquino, and I'm here for this job interview for the engineering, industrial engineering position you have.
Okay.
Come in, shake hand.
No, I
Oh, yeah. Oh,
No, you have to.
No,
Okay.
okay, yes. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you need to have from the first impression that you give to anyone at the company and especially in the interview, it will affect the rest of the interview. So just since the moment that you enter through the door of the company, be professional.
Go ahead.
Okay.
hi, good morning. Good morning.
No, you have to. Can I show him?
Yes.
Okay. The first thing that you have to do is, good morning. My name is
Good morning.
Cecilia.
Good morning. Okay, mucho. Hey.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I am Jose Guadalupe Aquino. I am industrial engineer, and I am Mexican.
No. You
That
cannot
would be
say
a
that.
disclosure of
That-
national origin, and that can cause the manager not to hire you because you are getting the company in
Yeah.
trouble.
Never say where are you from, your age, your marital status, and
Yes.
yours.
Never.
You are an
Only-
industrial
only
engineer and you come
about-
here for
about-
an interview.
About professional?
Yes,
Only.
Yeah.
correct.
Never
Not
get
personal.
personal in an interview. No, don't talk about your family. No, it's. I understand that sometimes it's difficult not to, if you have a personal problem, not to affect you. But you are in an interview, a professional interview for your future job. So if they see that you have problems and you can control yourself during an interview, they are gonna take that as you cannot work under pressure, and that's very bad because you always need to work under pressure and you need to demonstrate that you can do it, that you can do this job, that you can do this interview.
Okay, so let's say Ed is coming in for a job, so you're gonna thank him.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you,
We will call you.
Okay, have a
No,
nice day.
you see, that's the
Firm.
handshake. Yeah,
Only
it has to
three?
be firm. No, it has to be firm,
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Firm, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ed,
Always. That's it. Good morning. My name is
Morning.
Cecilia.
Good morning, my name is Eduardo. I am engineer, electromechanical engineer.
Yeah. How can I help you?
Mm,
I can help you.
I can help from
I can.
in the job, for example, is the electromechanic, electric.
Okay. And you are here for the interview?
Yes.
Yes. Where is your resume?
No, no.
You have to read
You
your
may have
resume.
already emailed that to her, but it is
Always good
it
to
is
read.
important to bring a copy because the person probably her computer didn't work. It's important to have a copy of your resume just in case.
Mhm.
You will say, yes, my resume is here.
Yeah.
You give that to her.
And resume,
Yeah, that's it. Take this and this is your resume. So
Yeah.
give it to me.
my resume is
Thank you. And how can I help you?
I'm with you.
Emilio George.
Could you help me to get a job? Yes.
In some way. No, it's
What is the answer correct?
the no. Well, when you give the resume, they're gonna put you in a list, and they will give you an appointment. You don't have already an appointment with them. It's like I'm here to see. You have to have the name of the person that you're gonna have the interview with. So the correct answer will be, I'm here to see Mr. or Mrs. Largo, for example.
You can even say the director of human resources. So an employee who is brand new probably doesn't know her last name, but we know, oh, director of human resources. Okay,
Yeah.
we are gonna take you there. Have a seat, something like that. Okay, so we are gonna get. You're gonna thank him.
Oh, thank you for coming. We will call you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
The handshake is very important for
Is it strong?
North America.
Oh,
Yes.
It has to be very strong. Don't have to be like this. Don't have to be flaky. Has to be one strong handshake.
firm.
Oh,
Yeah.
always is strong.
Here in the States, you always present yourself with a handshake and your last name or your first and last name.
So
In
it's
other
correct.
countries, it's different. So it
So-
depends on the country.
It's correct to do
You can see it.
through and así y de,
Like
por
this.
example, así.
No,
It's correct?
no,
No,
just
that's
one
correct.
hand, not two.
No.
Just one.
Oh,
Just
okay.
one. Okay, so we are gonna have.
You?
Who would like to volunteer between the two of you?
Hi. My
Good
name-
morning.
Good,
How
good
are you?
evening. My name is Marco Antonio. I am electrical mechanical engineer.
Okay. How can I help you?
I want to see Mr. Largo.
Okay, Miss Largo.
Miss Largo.
Mr., Mrs.,
Yes.
Miss. Always try to Mr. or Mrs. Largo.
Mrs. Largo.
Yeah, because Miss and Mrs. It depends if they are married or not, but because you don't want to assume anything, just go with the formal. The most formal is Mrs.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Do you have an appointment?
I don't understand. What
That's
is, what is,
an appointment is when you have already set up a time and a date to see the person in charge of the interview.
Someone who called you to come for a job interview, so that's for an appointment. I came here because someone called me to come in for a job interview.
Okay.
This is an appointment.
oh, yeah.
Okay, so you might want to ask her a question. When are you going to call me back? Something like that.
When you coming back? Oh, when,
So
when?
we will call you back.
Okay, thank you.
You have to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least,
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
No, one thing that you all did is say hi first. That's very informal. When you go for an interview, try to be the most formal possible. If you research the company and they have a very open relationship or informal relationship, some companies they have, like they don't dress up every day in suits. Like Google, for example, if you've seen the videos from Google, they dress up like they are the casual way. And in companies, in big companies, after you do the research, most of them is business formal. So it's like Dr. Darío is dressing or myself is dressing. Usually the jacket does it, or the formal, okay?
And it's called hello?
No, hello, no.
Or
It's a good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
good afternoon?
Depends on the time. Usually it's good morning or good
good
evening.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Right now it's good afternoon.
Good.
Good afternoon.
Good
My name is Cecilia.
My name is Veronica.
You have to check. That's the check.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Veronica?
Yes.
Yeah, how can I help you?
And I help you and
I'm here
I'm here
to about the interview.
yeah.
Okay. Which is the person that you want to that you have the appointment for the interview with?
And Mrs.
Mhm.
Mrs. and Mrs.
And the last name. Yeah, you always have to have the last
Mr.
name.
Darío.
Mr. Vasquez.
Mr. Vasquez.
Mhm. Because the Mr. Darío is after you know him.
Okay, Mr. Vasquez.
Mr. Vasquez. Okay, please give me your resume. I will take a seat and I will let you know when you are ready for your interview.
Thanks.
Okay, sure. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Always is the first Mr. then